Hello, people. It's your boy Usmaan back again with another Rival Fan podcast. As you can see, some of the guests are bottled there. Obviously, Lawless didn't want to smoke with a suit check and end on bullet debate. But listen, it is what it is. The show must go on. Obviously, Daniel's left the chat as well. You know, we mentioned Brexit and he was straight pretty Patel vibes. Man just left. He left us alone and all that good stuff. But hopefully, Daniel will be joining us as well, kid. But nonetheless, we got the two homies, the two important guests. Three in midfield. We got Iniesta times two. What we saying, boys?
All good, man. It's been a long day, but happy to be here. What are you saying?
Yes. I'm good. Kill, what about you, bro?
All good. He can remain Iniesta if he tells me his last name. What's his last name?
Wait, what?
Andres Iniesta. What's the last name? Otherwise, you're Xavi, bro.
Did you just Google this? Like Xavi Rodriguez?
Oh, I googled it a few weeks ago, innit? But tell me now.
All right, have him. I'll be Lionel Messi. Is what it is.
All right then.
Okay, listen, Kojo's gone for the upgrade, and it seems like he's secured.
I'm CR7, isn't
it? Why do you be an Arsenal legend, man? Like a Benton or something, or Shamak, one of them ones, innit?
How about Jemba for you, man? How about Jemba?
No, I prefer Hobart to me, but I'm up for Hobart. Let's just be it. You know, that pace down the ring. But listen, we're gonna do the show slightly different this week. As I've already mentioned to the guy off air, is the season review thus far, so it's going to be more general chat. So obviously get your thoughts in the comment section. Obviously drop a like, subscribe to the channel. We're going to start with Manchester City and Chelsea, because from what I'm aware of, we didn't mention either team last week, so it's only right. So the first question to the boys is, obviously we're going to all engage in the conversation. Manchester City, do they need the Champions League or the league more? What do we reckon, boys?
They definitely need Champions League more for me. I think the whole premise of Pep coming there was, they're going to win titles. They've won titles before.
Look at Jerry's comment.
What's he saying? Mike, wow.
Oh, my God.
Unnecessary.
No, don't come and then do big up the man then. Wait, man them after that, bruv. No.
Bro, the job was start by oranges onto the lippy lap, but then I'm not going to lie. Let's see that.
Hey,
Red, you know.
He's rattled me. What was I saying?
Jerry Uzu, that brother, no.
Alright, give me McTominay, bro. I don't want the other guy, bro.
Well, McTominay. At least I pretend to be Brazilian.
Yeah.
You can take McTominay. Take him.
Kale could pass for Brazilian, actually. No, if you told me he was Brazilian, I'd believe it. You know, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, true.
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's the skills in it for Kale's protectors, isn't it?
What was I saying? Damn, you rattled me with that one.
You were talking about Man City in the chat.
The premise of Pep coming in was, I think, to win the Champions League. I mean, obviously, look, they've won titles with Mancini, and then it was Pellegrini, right? So, Pep coming in, I think we knew at some point he was going to win a title anyway, but they want to dominate the Champions League. They've been owned by one owner, then the other owner since 2008, and the idea was you spend all that money, it's not to just dominate domestically, you want to dominate collectively, and that means getting the Champions League at some point. And they've come to the semi-finals, I think 2 times now, out of those times, and every time you get closer, the want for it is more. And I would refuse to believe that City fans would not want a European trophy. That's for me, that's insane. That's insanity. So I would say it's a must. They can win the Premier League. I think the Premier League is good for them. I think it's still a fantastic thing for them. They want to dominate and get up to as many league titles they can, so they can maybe catch up to United. If United don't win titles, and they can then do their thing. But the Champions League is like, once you win the Champions League, it's like the Holy Grail. You know, in London, I think Chelsea the only London team to win Champions League so far.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so obviously Arsenal got close. Spurs got kind of close.
You were robbed, by the way. You were robbed.
They did get robbed.
Yeah, to be fair, they did get robbed. Also,
I was so happy that night though when they got robbed off. Lord, I was gutted. And then, come on, you ain't for no there. You love to see it.
Jokes though, they're one on one. They got Mr. 1-on-1, but it is what it is. Yeah, City in the Champions League.
Kojo, what is the question on the quiz, right? You know what is funny? What is the question? No, obviously we got the categories. If you haven't watched the quiz, I'm not going to spell who won, but check it out. One of the questions on the Champions League, right? On easy, was like, how many Champions Leagues has Arsenal won? And no one picked that number.
Oh, you're right.
And the answer was just LOL. I just put LOL.
No, seriously, they need to win the Champions League, and that's some fact. They need to win the Champions League. That's not, for me, there's nothing else that would be acceptable at this point. They can win league titles, but when you win the Champions League, it takes you up to another level. So yeah.
100. What do you reckon, Kale?
I think obviously City need the Champions League. The owners, that's what their main goal is. They want the Champions League. But to be honest, I think the person that needs the Champions League the most is Pep, because obviously it's been, when's the last time he won the Champions League?
He's not won it since Messi.
Was that
2011, I think.
2011, exactly.
United, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
He goes to a team in Bayern Munich and they just complete the treble. And the closest he got was a semi-final. Not bad, but it's not.
Did that team didn't they win the Champions League?
So they won Champions League, and then after he joined them, he
joined them. He inherited the Champions League with the squad.
They did the quadruple, and then he joined them. I think, if I'm not wrong.
I think so. But yeah, it's and now he's come to City. They've got all the money in the world, and he just doesn't seem to know how to win. I mean, last year the defeat to Lyon that shocked everybody. But people know that Pep is a tinkerer, especially when he doesn't need to. And I feel like now is probably the perfect opportunity for him to win. Bayern are obviously there, but apart from Bayern, I don't think any other team you can argue is that strong enough contenders. PSG maybe, but PSG are funny. So if Pep wants to win, I think the time is now, because I think he's got the best squad in the world. Yeah, I think he's got the best squad in the world. So this is the perfect time to win it.
Right, I wouldn't agree with the last statement in terms of best squad. I think Bayern's squad is definitely better for me personally.
I mean, in terms of depth, I don't think you can contest. I mean, that's Kojo. I don't want to. I'd say yes.
I think Bayern's is better. I don't know. I just feel like a lot of the players on the sort of peripheral of that team. I suppose City's is the same, isn't it? Really, it's probably close, isn't it?
Yeah, it's close. I think City have the better options in midfield when it comes to depth. Up front, in terms of depth, I think up front they've got a better option. I mean, Lewandowski is obviously the best striker in the world. Leroy Sane is there, and who plays on their right? I'm not sure who plays on their right.
They've got
Nabry and Coleman.
Nabry, yeah.
Nabry and Coleman,
They've got Choupo Moting, the baller. You love to see it.
He's been successful there. He's done well.
But I mean, it's a debate, but I think City have the best team in the world.
Fair enough. But listen, in terms of what you guys were saying regarding the Champions League and the Premier League, I think it's a no-brainer as well. I think in terms of his legacy as a manager, he does need to win another Champions League. I think at Manchester City, of course, that was the whole sort of assignment of him coming in, was the Champions League, because they've not retained that trophy. But in terms of him personally, more than Man City, like Kiel said, he's not won it since Messi, and a lot of people are putting them two together, which is a bit unfair on Pep. But at the same time, there might be a bit of truth behind that. We don't know, innit, obviously. But I do respect Pep for what he's done in the league. He's absolutely busted. The next question regarding Manchester City is in the comments as well. The quadruple is on the line. Last season they were close to getting as well. I believe they got the treble, domestic treble, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was right. Domestic treble. In fact, it was the season before, wasn't it? That
was domestic quadruple. Don't forget, domestic quadruple.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Apologies. Sorry, not last season. Obviously, that was Liverpool. Can you just tell I've erased that Liverpool season on my memory or what? Not last season, the season prior when they did the treble. But in terms of the quadruple, what do you reckon, boys? Have Man City got the tools to complete, the four piece? What do you reckon, boys?
Yeah, I think so. Like I said before, I think the Champions League. I personally believe they're the favourites to win the Champions League. But I feel like that's the only cup competition that they have to worry about. I think everything else, unless it's like an unlucky draw where who's remaining in the FA Cup. So they got the League Cup final coming. I think that
FA Cup they've got Chelsea and then it's Southampton or Leicester, isn't it?
Oh, so if they get past Chelsea, then it's theirs to lose.
But the League Cup, they're gonna obviously you're a Man City fan for that day, aren't you?
I don't really care if Tottenham win the League Cup. It's a League Cup, bro. They won it in 2000.
Seriously, do you not care?
Who cares? It's a League Cup.
Nah, you do. Surely you don't want them to win anything. It's just more misery in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe. But to be honest, this the sign of progress. Is it upwards or is it just sideways? I feel like it's sideways if they win the League Cup. So going sideways in how many years? 2008, 12, 13 years. That's fine with me. Best team in North London, apparently. North London is white, right? Anyway, back to City. Yeah, I feel like this is the best year for them to win the quadruple. If they get past Chelsea, then the quadruple's on.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I'm a bit scared as a Man United fan. We got a comment here from Abdul, obviously, as we know. He's a West Ham fan. City winning the quadruple would surpass United's greatest achievement, and that's right. I can't deny that. Of course it will. We've already done the treble, so I'm not gonna sit here and be like, that would be double standards if I said anything otherwise. You know what I mean? But I
feel like United's treble was more iconic though, considering what they had to do in order to win it. I mean, the semi-finals of the FA Cup where they beat Arsenal, Ryan Giggs' goal.
The 2-1. Oh, yeah. That was
Andy Cole's goal against Tottenham was pretty sick as well.
Yeah, we beat Liverpool as well, 2-1 as well. Come back.
Yeah, and then obviously what happens in the Champions League final. I feel like United is more iconic.
Yeah, but look, at the end of the day, who gives a shit about iconic in it? I mean, trophy's a trophy in it. But it's true though, like, I'm not gonna sit here and begrudge Man City. I gotta keep it real in it. But in terms of their sort of credentials to go and win the quadruple, I can't see. The only trophy is the Champions League, but Bayern got PSG, so I feel like Bayern haven't got Lewandowski as well. So PSG, he's injured for the tie. So PSG could win, and I think Man City should beat PSG. If Man United could beat PSG, Man City should beat PSG over 2 legs. Obviously, I think they just beat us over 2 legs, not by 1 goal, if I'm not wrong. Obviously,
are they first? Yeah, in the league as well. Or are they still second?
PSG, I've not checked.
I think PSG went back top this weekend, actually. Let me check that for you.
Pochettino sympathiser, so you should know it, you know what I mean?
Wow. But in the group chat, you were screaming, hey, he beat Barcelona like this. I see you
and
still.
Listen, I was happy. No, I like Pochettino. Kishan come at the right time. I like Pochettino, but obviously, you guys got this random rivalry. Apparently,
cool. Let's see what Nagelsmann is doing in that league as well.
But that is defense that you don't rate. Yeah, don't worry, he's doing a great job. Right, Kish, can you go landscape?
He's on top. He's on top.
Yeah, true. It is what it is. But in terms of quadruple, I think Bayern playing PSG is going to be the one in it. Like, if PSG can beat Bayern, I think that's Man City's to lose personally. But that's the only way. Otherwise, I would say I'd fancy Bayern still. We've got Jerry saying he's injured for like 10 days, they said. So he probably missed one of the games, potentially both legs. I think they'll rush him back for the second leg. But anyways, let's move on to some of the other things that we got written down for Man City. In case you're not aware, we've changed the system. We've changed it slightly. I'm just going to read a question I know, whoever fancies answering it, go for it. So Kish has put down, do Manchester City need a striker? And the obvious selection is Haaland, isn't it? So I'm gonna put the two together. Do they need a striker? And if so, do you think they can land Haaland? What do you reckon, guys?
Answer yes.
Right,
listen, it hurts me to say it, but because I know if they get Haaland and the way they create chances, it's a very it's a very long situation, and that's a scary prospect because they're not going to lose any of their creators, and if they lose one, they buy one anyway, or they produce one in Foden who can now actually score as well as create as well. So
who's his agent?
It might be real. I'm not sure.
It's funny how people want to suddenly deal with him again, right?
It is real.
What's that?
It's funny how certain people want to deal with him again. Now it's Haaland on the table. I see from
Man City, like everyone goes on about the fact that Haaland is going to City and stuff like that, but City don't really it's as funny enough as it sounds. City spend a lot of money, but they never spend over the top for a
Yeah,
single
6
player.
is the
He's
highest.
got a transfer clause. He's got a release clause.
But that's next year. This season, he doesn't have a clause.
So they wait. This is what I'm saying, though. They can wait, though, isn't it?
Wait
That's
till
the
next
thing.
year.
So his clause this next season, the season after this season, is like 75 million. So obviously Dortmund are going to want to cash in this season. But everyone was saying that I wouldn't actually be surprised if Pep ends up signing the striker that you completely like didn't expect. Do you know what I mean? Someone out of you, not even talking about your usual. It could be someone from like no one knew that Gabriel Jesus were going to Man City. Do you know what I mean? No one really called that out as a striker.
No one gave 2 shits, and they still don't give 2 shits. How about that?
I feel like no, that's the point. I feel like because he hasn't exactly lit the Premier League on fire, he might go for a recognised striker.
Yeah. True. Well, that's what I mean. I think the most he spent on a player at Man City is like, I think it was 60 million or something, or 50 million for a player.
The 40, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, he's not spent more than that. So I'd be surprised to see Man City spending like 150 million or something.
But there's no FFP now, Kish, so do they really give a shit? There's no FFP, so like they can do what they want.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, exactly. But also, it wouldn't surprise me because 75 million doesn't break any transfer records, and they've been good at that. They've spent so much money, but none of them have been big record deals. They haven't gone past.
This is my counter argument. Yeah, what if? For me, if I was like part of the board at Man City, I would do everything possible to get Messi. And the reason why I do that is because in terms of your brand as a club, people still see City as a growing club.
If they got Messi.
Do you know what I mean? So imagine what Messi would do to Man City as a global brand. And people say that he's 33 or whatever. But if you look at Ronaldo, he's 36. Ibrahimovic is 39. Players nowadays are playing like longevity is a lot longer. So what if you get Messi at Man City?
Bro, Messi
striker, you don't even need a striker.
Messi had that false 9 in Man City, yo.
Exactly. It's finished. It's finished. It's literally finished.
That's illegal.
You know
that's borderline illegal. That you might have to bring Iniesta out of retirement for that one. Just get that all fine back to David Villa and that on the wing. But in terms of Haaland's situation, I honestly think we're going to talk about Chelsea, and obviously they need a striker as well. But I think it's a no-brainer for Chelsea to go and get Haaland. I know you mentioned Messi there, which would also make sense. But Haaland is the guy, man. He's 20. As Kojo rightly said as well, with the amount of chances he's going to get in this Man City team, I wouldn't be surprised if he hits 35, 40 goals comfortably. I wouldn't be surprised, and he can do that year in year out because his mentality, the guy is hungry, man. Like you can tell, he's got that hunger in him. He's not going to be happy with 30 goals. This guy's going to be like, well, Ronaldo scored X, Y, and Z for 10 years. I need to be doing the same. I want to be the greatest. For
me personally, if Man City, for example, get Haaland, he will beat Alan Shearer's record. Like I'm not even joking. He will for him at Man City under Pep for a couple of seasons to get to about 150 Prem goals in no time. Like he is that good. That is the thing. Like City would be unstoppable with that guy up top.
No, absolutely. The other mention is Kane, boys. What do you reckon? Harry Kane, scoring for England yesterday. Shout out Luke Shaw, another assist. It is what it is. I called it earlier, but in my boy and that. But I'm messing. But in terms of Harry Kane, what do you reckon? Is it time? We're not in the Spurs segment, but by all means, we can mention it. Is it time Harry Kane finally moves on, and Man City also, inclined to sign a striker this summer? You'd imagine with Aguero potentially moving on. Is Harry Kane that guy to come in and just fill that void, really?
120 million on an injury-prone striker doesn't make sense, though, does it?
It makes sense to me, but it's Harry Kane.
I didn't agree with that.
I'm slapping that money down, black.
Yeah, I'm saying, bro, I'd be like, no, what? You can take Jesus as well,
bro, it'll be one of them ones. It'll be like, what, 120 million? What, you want 4 wings as well? Bro, I'll give you 4 wings as well, bro. No worries, bro. I'll top him up, bro. Quick little royal trip, bro. Listen, there is, but if I was Harry Kane, what I'd actually do is this. Win or lose the Carabao Cup final, I would literally go to the board at the end of the season and say, sort of like what Van Persie did. Because I like players that try to take control of their destiny. You want to win something. He's 27 now. You're in peak years now, So it's now the case of, right, these are technically going to become my best years. So what are you going to help me do to help me be successful. Because if I'm successful, equally Spurs are successful because we're all collecting accolades here.
Absolutely.
So what is your next move to support the
Do you know what
team
it
and
is, though,
support the
Kojo?
manager?
Yeah. Do you know what it is? We're not Arsenal. We don't let players leave a year left on their contract. Do you know what I mean? Harry Kane.
Oh, wait. I'm sorry to do this, but you gave Bill a 5-year contract and he left 2 months later. So what gone?
Yeah, he left 2 months later for 90 million. That's the difference. Like,
I know, but
do you know what I mean?
that's what I'm saying. Contracts don't mean anything.
No, but what I'm saying it means because
Spurs,
when Van Persie left Arsenal, he had a year left on his contract. Van Persie had 1 year, so Arsenal had no choice but to sell him for, in my opinion, still a low price, even at
a very low price.
Do you not think that Kane kind of holds the cards here just because of who he is, I suppose?
No, it's Daniel Levy. It's
look
Daniel
what
Levy.
happened with
Not
Messi,
in a
bro, man.
million
Messi
years
tried the
will
same
Daniel
thing.
Levy let anyone go on the cheap. Like,
But Messi's attachment to Barca is like Spurs. Kane is Spurs through and through, but like Messi's attachment to Barca.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, kinda. But like Messi's attachment to Barcelona is different. Like the story of Barca and him, the growth hormones, the way they helped him come and settle from Argentina, everything is very different for me. So when it comes to comparing those two, I'm not sure because Messi's attachment to Barcelona is very, very much.
No, but what I'm saying is Messi tried to force a move, and even he couldn't get out. Like, let's be real, he wanted to leave last summer.
But he didn't do it because he already said he didn't want to take him to court. If he wanted to go to court, he would have won and then he would have left. He didn't want to leave under those.
But the fact that he can't, even he can't.
Because he's emotional. You know these guys. You know the Latin America sort of thing. They're emotional, bro.
There's no way Kane's forcing his way out with Daniel Levy in charge with the contract.
Right.
Do you know what it is, though, Kojo? I agree with you, Kojo. Like, as a Spurs fan, I would love Kane to retire at Tottenham. Which Spurs fan wouldn't? But for him as a player, if he decides that he doesn't want to leave, for me that doesn't tell me much about him as a player. That tells me that he's a bit of a pussy. Do you know what I mean? The fact that he never wanted to leave. It's true. It is.
I agree. You're preaching.
I'm not thinking this as a fan. I'm thinking if I was in his shoes and I'm a player, right? What do I want at the end of my career? Do I want Premier League, Champions League, league titles, or do I want a League Cup, an Audi Cup, and top scorer? Do you know what I mean? It really comes down to that because Tottenham aren't going to win a Premier League in my lifetime. I would be very surprised if they do. But they're not.
In your lifetime.
Yeah, they're not. They're not. I'm telling you, we're too far away.
I don't know why you're saying Jesus Christ. You're joining on that, mate. With your team.
I think we're closer than Spurs.
Arteta, you're right.
To be fair, he's already been there anyway, so he's calm for now.
You're still old enough to see it, innit? So it's all right for you.
Legit, but we've been there, done that, man. You know, it's all good. We let the little boys take charge in that.
All I've seen in my lifetime is a League Cup and a FA Cup win. That's all I've seen in my entire life.
Actually, you won the Audi Cup a couple of years ago. Don't disrespect
obviously, I won that as well, innit? So that's all I've seen in my life.
Oh shit! No, I agree with you. If Kane doesn't leave, then it says a lot about his ambition as a human being. I just think, look, he needs to have high ambition. And I said this on Sam's show. Go show that love. It's the same as Pogba as well. If Pogba's got any ambition, he needs to leave as well, because he's not winning the league at Man United.
I don't know about that one.
Nah, we're not winning the league.
I don't know. No, I'm not saying he's not winning the league, but he's already got a World Cup. He's already got multiple league titles, and
he's got Euro. He's not Euros. He's got Europa League at Man United, but you know, it is what it is.
Oh, he's got a Europa League. Yeah, I think that Kane and Pogba are in a completely different situation. I think Pogba,
it's definitely a different situation, but I just feel like Pogba should be winning a league title, and he's good enough.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If Man United sign someone like Kane, for me, that puts Man United literally on the top. For me, it puts them to challenge with the
bro.
Kane,
Harry
Kane.
Is literally that's it. No Harry Kane. I've said this for a long time, right? Kishan know this, right? He's the definition of what you call a Man United striker. Harry Kane is. Yes. Like, if you go through our history, right? Harry Kane is what Man United strikers of old are. Basically, Fergie's here. Harry Kane's in the Man United shirt. Like, obviously, I know he's been gone for ages, but there's no doubt in my mind that Harry Kane wouldn't have been a Man United player still at the club. Like, that's the kind of player that we've got. I know people can say, well, rivals don't sell to rivals. Well, Fergie would have found a way to get the guy at Man United, by hook or by crook. But listen, let's move on from Man City. I was going to do player of the season, but we already spent 24 minutes on the first team, and we need to get through everyone, so we'll just leave that. Obviously, Kish will say Gundogan one because he's Yaya Toure, but it is what it is.
Top tier, man.
So that's the end of that conversation. We'll leave that there for you guys to discuss in the comments. Keep getting your thoughts in. I'm just going to put this on. I feel sorry for you, bro. Abdullah, I have seen no trouble in my lifetime. Pain. Also, Big Ron and United, we're both saying Harry Kane's ankles are gone. it's an interesting point. Obviously, he has had quite a lot of injuries, but I still would take the risk on him because, like you saw yesterday, from that, look, Luke Shaw crosses it. It wasn't a brilliant cross, but Harry Kane attacked the ball.
But also, the one thing I'd say about his injuries, Usmaan, is the fact that you've got to understand at Tottenham, there's only one striker. He never rests. Imagine him under Pep at City, where Pep rotates constantly. Yeah, that's a good point. He would. I doubt Harry Kane would get injured at Man City. It's the fact that Mourinho plays.
He's forced to play 70 games.
Yeah, he plays him against flipping Bradford City in the League Cup second round games. You know what I mean? Like what? You can't even rest him in
you played against some team called Hamburger and he actually played you. Like
he plays about 50, 60 games a season, so obviously he's going to get injured.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a fair point. Obviously, he does a lot of work as well. Right, let's move on to Chelsea. Obviously, I spoke to Kish yesterday. And honestly, when I said this, Kish was smiling. Lukaku to Chelsea. Oh, shit. I'm just going to put it out there. Kish knows my thoughts. So I'm not going to say anything at the start because, just Kish. I know I said I'm not going to point a guy, but I'm going to bring you in first because honestly, even in my funeral, right? When I die, I think Kish might mention Lukaku's name.
Yeah, 100%.
He might be like, but Lukaku would have stayed alive now. Like he was saying some shit that this guy, like, Kish, we're gonna come to you first and foremost.
I'm literally gonna do duas on your funeral and say the reason why he's in the casket is because he didn't get support Lukaku. Literally, that is gonna be the main purpose. I'm not even joking. No, but you know what it is on the real, the one thing I do agree with you is the thing, styles of teams dictate how successful a player will be. Simple. It doesn't matter how good the player is. Unfortunately, the season where United signed Lukaku, it was a wrong order. Morata should have gone to Man United.
I honestly thought
Lukaku should have gone to Chelsea. It just didn't happen. But I know it's a different league and stuff, but he generally has improved. Conte has improved him so much as a player. I don't know if it's the fact that he's lost his timber that he had in his last season at Man United or the fact that he's got his hunger back, but he looks like a completely different player to the player that Man United had in his last season. The one thing you're always going to get with Lukaku is goals. You're always going to get goals. But at Man United, the one thing he didn't do was, if he didn't score, he didn't do much else. He literally, I think that's where, if you're a Man U fan, you could probably be annoyed about. But his improvements at Inter and the management around Conte, if he goes to Chelsea under Tuchel, who plays very similar to Conte in terms of pragmatic football and having that stocky striker.
Does Tuchel play pragmatic football?
He is a bit. If you look at his formation, he also plays the same sort of lineup.
I don't think he's pragmatic.
I think the way he plays, Chelsea don't create a huge amount of chances. It's more of a case of defend deep and then get on the counter with the players that they have up front. And that's what he's been doing since his little spell at Chelsea he's had. And I think you put Lukaku in that mix with the players that Chelsea have in attack, it would honestly be absolute riots, in my opinion, up front. I can't see Chelsea not winning the league if they get Lukaku. That's literally how
I don't know about that one.
I genuinely see it because defensively, Chelsea have got the team lineup and they've got the players there to have it together. It's more of a case of attack where they just cannot get the goals. How many games this season have they won 1-2-0 where really it should be a cricket score? And I think someone like Lukaku, they are going to get those goals and they are going to win more comfortably than what they do where it's last 10, 15 minutes where they nick a win.
Dan, you heard me talk about Chelsea. He had league title. Dan come back, Daniel's connection not work. Kishan just said that Chelsea will win the league title if they sign Lukaku. Daniel.
First of all, is my connection stable?
Yeah. That's good.
I'm just guaranteeing that whilst I'm speaking, it's gonna do something. But just to try and get it in there, look, I think if we sign the targets, I believe we're looking at this summer, I think it's title or bust. At the end of the day, I'll be predicting us to finish first. I think it's not even a in jest kind of thing. It's more of that's the expectation, finishing first, or at the very, very least, challenging all the way and maybe falling short because of maybe we lost one more game. But this 15 points ahead, this 10 points ahead, it has to be max maybe 5 points. And that's what I'm willing to give if we don't win the league. But the league is the minimum expectation. And then winning trophies. That's what Chelsea do. We win trophies. So I'm expecting another trophy in the bag. I'm even expecting a trophy this season. So
who are your targets?
So target for this summer, they want a centre back. I believe Jules Koundé is being looked at. And Roman's trying to spend. Like Roman wants to spend.
Bro, no FFP. That guy's spend my
he's trying to spend. Like, and I've spoken
cheap.
It's very good. You have the same amount of money as us, bro.
Yo, I bought it Roman Abramovich, you know. That's completely. Them man's are buying yachts and shit in flipping Miami, you know.
But so like I spoke to a couple of my journalist guys, reliable guys, and they basically were saying that the targets are Jules Koundé is one target in terms of the striker options.
Yeah.
Haaland's obviously number one. Like there's no doubt about it. Roman wants Haaland. Yeah. By all means necessary. If you can't
to be fair, my sources also said that Roman would be doing money laundering on an extra overtime to get ready for the summer. Do you know what I mean? Because he knows he needs that period for the summer. So, yeah.
The thing is, I was for a split second.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
My sources, isn't it? But
allegedly.
And then obviously Haaland's number one, Lukaku's number two, and then funny enough, Dybala's number three, which I don't agree with. But
what? Where's he
gonna Yeah.
I don't know. Man's gonna be like, you know, on the bench and not doing this or that. Like,
but be as bad as Werner this season.
Say that again.
I think Dybala will be as bad as Werner this season.
Yeah.
I mean, Dybala's more technical than Werner, so he should, like, in terms of the technical side of things, should be fine. It's just about
genuine question. Like, where Dybala
I don't know.
Because you got Havertz and Mount in that position, ideally.
In Tuchel we trust. He will sort it out.
No, that sounds like a mishmash. Kojo, what do you reckon? They'd win the title if they get Lukaku.
Well, I would say this: the reason why me and some United fans weren't fans of Lukaku is because in big games his record was not good, like at all. And everyone knows United's big game record here and there over the past couple of years has been shaky. Anyway, it's not just a Lukaku problem, but in a lot of those games he had big chances that he did fumble, and that's part and parcel of being a striker, isn't it? It's not the easiest job in the world, so it's what happened to him. But he's gone to Inter Milan with a point to prove. Now, if he comes away with a league title, you know, again, people are starting the whole thing about, Juventus got Ronaldo, but their team, the midfield. At the end of the day, if you beat Juventus, who have dominated the league for time, and you are spearheading that lead towards the title, you have done your job, you've done your thing. So if he wins the league title, I think that gives him a confidence boost. That makes Lukaku, for me, now have to take that confidence and build it up to a whole new level and say, all right, cool, I've got my league title now. You're going to see what I'm really made of. Because his goal scoring record is fantastic. Check it out. His goals to game ratio is phenomenal. Yeah, it's actually crazy how much goals he scored in his whole career. So if he comes back to the Premier League, that is unfinished business. You know what I'm saying? If he goes back to Chelsea, he went there, he was loaned out, he went there again after the loan, missed the penalty, was unfortunately sold to Everton, went to United, and then was sold off to Italy. If he comes back to Chelsea again...
Unfortunately sold to Everton? Oh, from Chelsea?
Yeah, from Chelsea, yeah.
Okay, I don't know.
Unfortunate, though. It had to happen.
No, I say unfortunate in the sense that I know that he wanted to stay at Chelsea and do his thing there, but...
Kojo, I don't know if you saw, or I don't know if everyone saw, but he was supposed to come to Chelsea when he was supposed to come to Chelsea.
Did you see that video that I sent you?
Well, when we got Morata. When you got Morata, I mean.
Oh, I don't know if I saw it, but probably the same one. It was a podcast.
Yeah, when he was like 17 when he started crying because he was like,
not even. I've seen that.
He started crying. He started crying. He said, "I come to England for this fucking shit stage."
So in the podcast, he was basically saying he was supposed to come in 2016, and then what's it called? And Chelsea called him right before the FA Cup game where we lost 2-0. And he scored twice. So they called him and said, "Oh, we're getting a new manager, and the manager wants you in it." So then he was like, "Cool, in it. When you get your manager, shout me." Cool. He was supposed to come at the end of that season. Nothing happened. Obviously, Conte now comes, and Conte wants Lukaku by all means. And then Lukaku said, "Yeah, I started shopping in London, doing everything in London." And then United came, and basically he just said that, based off of what had happened originally with Chelsea, he trusted United a lot more. Do you know what I'm saying? Oh, okay. The funny thing is, why he should. I have even said till this day, if Chelsea bought Lukaku and Morata signed for United, both would still be at their clubs right now, in my opinion.
Yeah,
so like Lukaku.
I feel like Lukaku does better at Chelsea, though.
Say that again.
I think Lukaku does better at Chelsea because didn't he have like an undiagnosed stomach problem, which the United doctors who pretty much are hopeless. just didn't see, because that's why he gained so much.
Yeah.
He picked the right words. Hopeless is the correct definition.
No.
That is a very good.
And that's my thing. Like,
that's
what you said is so key, because that's what Twitter doesn't understand. Twitter will obviously take the banter route. Oh, he's just gaining weight. Players don't just gain weight like that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, especially when you're playing in the Premier League, you're playing week in, week out.
My boy.
No,
Unless you're Hazard.
Unless you're Hazard. But Hazard can play.
Man, disrespecting your legend like that, you know.
Nah, but Hazard can play after eating 4 burgers. You don't mind. He bang 2 goals. Like, so it don't matter, man.
It's still violent.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I think it'll be unfinished business. And now that you've added that as well, like, I think when he went to United, look, Mourinho was a big fan of him, innit? Mourinho loved him. And I think that's one person, if one person can say that Mourinho had his back, it was Lukaku, because that was that time where we had a game without Lukaku, we didn't win. And he said, he literally said, you guys always ask, why always Lukaku? This is why always Lukaku. So he had his back, and I can see that. Obviously, when he left, that's when Solskjaer came in and he wasn't getting much game time. So he left. But wherever the situation was there is where it is. If it comes to Chelsea, for points to proof, you could be the most dangerous striker on the planet. Lukaku that's motivated and wants to kill, will kill. And we've seen it before. So if he goes to Chelsea, could they win the title? It's a difficult one, because I don't want to say it, but I'm predicting that City will try and get Haaland and will probably be successful in getting so.
Bro, they're going to have Haaland. These fans are going to look
but I will say this. If Chelsea don't get Lukaku, Chelsea will go for Haaland. And Chelsea will get Haaland if they want Haaland. I'm telling you that right now. I'll tell you right now.
Man City, do you think?
I think I said to Kale before, when Chelsea wants someone, like they really, really want someone, they will get him.
SCN, John Obi Mikel, clear example.
Straight away. When they say they want someone, that person will join. We had Mikel in our pocket. He was doing shirt picture and everything. And he still went Chelsea.
As well, Willian
did
pay for his hotel room.
Willian was the biggest snake ever. He went from
Levy literally paid for his hotel room. All that had to happen was for him to wake up and walk to White Hart Lane to just sign, dot the I's and cross the T's. And then Abramovich basically calls up his boy who owns Anzi and says, I want Willian.
Harry Redknapp went to Hazard's house when he was Tottenham manager to get him to come to Tottenham, and my guy still went to Chelsea.
There you go.
But the Hazard one, if we didn't win the Champions League, I think he was United. I think he was going.
Yeah, it would have gone to us. Yeah.
Fuck.
So yeah.
Depressing.
Yeah, that would have been crazy.
How did you face? He was Bayern, right? Because he said he was in the Champions League.
And that was our worst ever team to play in the Champions League. To win the Champions League, that was our worst ever.
That final was destiny. That whole tournament was destiny.
Oh, in fact, when
Drogba's day
saved that penalty, I said, we're winning this. I said, we're winning this.
Drogba's day, bro. The Drogba day.
When Lehman got sent off, I said, we're losing this. And guess what?
Kish, where's yours? Recollection of the final.
When Kane was injured, I said we're losing this.
When we gave the penalty in the first minute to Barney, I mean, losing this, bro. It's all right, Kim. It's all right, Kim.
That was the worst Champions League final.
To this day, I will never forgive Pochettino for dropping Lucas to the bench. I will never ever forgive that guy for that.
I do sympathise with him. I understand it. It's the biggest game.
It's Kane. He's available.
It's Kane. Imagine United get to a Champions League final, and Bruno Fernandes is like half fit.
He's playing. He's playing 100%.
Man bagged a hat-trick. He should have been on the pitch for somebody. I don't care.
He should have been on the pitch for someone. That's what I think.
That's what I mean.
It didn't have to be Kane. It's not like he plays in Kane's position anyway. It's a little bit for weird.
Surprise, it was Davinson Sanchez that gave away the pen in about 10 seconds.
Bro, I was probably more angry than Kish.
Do you understand the stress? Usmaan watched the game together, and within 10 seconons we give away a pen in the Champions League final.
I hate.
Listen, I literally just about finished having a piss. Like,
I was looking at Kish like, is this the shit you have to go through? This is it. That's how you've done it, man. Honestly, I can't do that shit. But listen, let's speak of Spurs. Obviously, very close to the top 4. Here's the season review thus far. So the question is, what Kishan wrote down it. Are Spurs kind of where you expect them to be in the final and close to the top 4?
Yeah, they should be there. I mean, I know this season they haven't been in good form, but I think when you start the season, you're expecting them to at least be fighting for minimum Europa League spot. That's bare minimum, innit? We're just going to find.
Right oh my God. Bro, I was angry at that one as well. I've done it. Man's spoken about 4.
Yeah, it was crazy finish, man. Crazy.
Yeah, no. Look, start the season, when they had Bell is back or Bell back or whatever the hashtag was. But regardless, with that team, expecting them to finish at least 6 or above. So where they are right now, it's not a surprise. And it's where they should be. They should be challenging for the top 4. The fact they're 3 points off is good. If they weren't 3 points off, that's poor. That's as simple as it is. So they are where they're supposed to be. In the cup final, finally, after the Champions League finals being 2 years, maybe? 2-3 years? So that's a good step for them as well. So yeah, they just need to literally, the next step for Spurs is getting over the line. They've got over the line before. In a Champions League final, in a cup final against Chelsea. Chelsea were overwhelming favourites. Yeah, in this one as well, City are overwhelming favourites. If they win this one, they really need to grab this and say, okay, let's try and build a little sign from here. If they don't do it, it's the same old Jonathan Wood again on 13 years and then see what we win again. So
they're not winning that trophy against Man City. I'm telling you.
I think they're actually going to win it. You know,
I can see a 2-0 Man City win. I can see it.
I think they're going to win it somehow, some way, a stink job, and then someone's just going to bang one, and that's it.
If Davinson Sanchez plays, City win, and Davinson Sanchez is going to play.
But wait, that's hard though, because if it's not Davinson Sanchez, it's Eric Dyer. So it's like you're saying it's a draw. They both lose.
It's a long day. I'm telling you right now.
Sanchez plays one half decent game against Man United. Spurs scouts thought, no,
he's 100% playing Sissoko.
He's the guy
100% playing Sissoko at CDM.
The problem is, man. The problem is
going to bring in like Harry Winks and Sissoko at the back. I can see it.
The problem is, if you were playing well, I'd actually go with Tottenham. But you're not even playing that well. Like,
do you know what it is? The one positive for us at the moment is Son is back. So he and just before he got injured was when that front 4 that we had was like doing well in tandem, even though the opposition wasn't.
Yeah, but now
he wasn't playing well though, wasn't he?
He's dropped Bale though after one game, 1 or 2 bad.
Yeah, but to be fair, with Bale, the last couple of games that he played before that, he didn't exactly do anything. Do you know what I mean? So fair enough if he's.
Yeah, but you know what Jose won't play for another 5 games now, innit? You know what Jose's like.
It depends what he does, and it will be interesting to see. I mean. I was watching a podcast about Bale on Talksport over the weekend, and it's right. Some players rely on particular assets of theirs to show their quality, and for Bale it was his pace. You take Bale's pace out, although he's still got the intricacy and the touches that he's always had, and he's got that wand of a left foot. Most of his game is literally his pace. You've taken that away. He no longer can do majority of the things he used to be able to do, whereas other players like a Ronaldo or even other players, they don't solely rely on their pace. Ronaldo's done so well the fact that his pace, he's nowhere near as quick as he was, but he's so
Ronaldo's
adapted still make himself feel useful.
But Bale has all the assets to make that same Ronaldo transition.
He hasn't got the work ethic. He hasn't got the work ethic. That's the problem.
Then on top of that, you have to then question Tottenham a bit as well. It was kind of like a smoke screen, the Bale loan signing, because really and truly, when was the last time we saw Bale use his pace per se? So now you've got 2 Kanes in the team, really and truly. You know what I'm saying? So,
but that tells me that that was never in a million years a Mourinho signing. It was just the fact that Daniel Levy was like, do you know what? This could be great for us as a.
You can't say no to Bale, man. I don't give a fucking shit. Do you know what I mean? Especially as a Spurs fan, like, you know what I mean? That's like us saying no to Ronaldo. Like, I've seen so many United fans saying no to Ronaldo. Like, shut up, man.
It's Hazard. If Hazard said, I want to come back to Chelsea, even with the injury.
If you actually look at Bale's contribution for when he's played this season, he's actually contributed to the attacking sense.
Yeah, he's done okay.
He's done all right. Obviously, he's leveled out against shit teams like Hamburger and whatnot to make it look a bit better. But obviously, those big teams and
well, that's what I mean. Lawless was cracking on about Lingard getting the contribution and stuff that he has. Bale's second in that list. That was never mentioned.
Yeah, but Bale's done it against fucking Hamburg in the Europa League. Like, who's Hamburg?
No, this was in the Prem. In terms of since Lingard's been playing for West Ham, who has the biggest contribution? Bale's second on that list.
Who did Bale do against him in Prem? Like some proper dead teams and that.
Yeah, but I'm
messing about you. Right, in terms of where Spurs are, look, I think if he does get the top 4, wins the trophy, that would be Jose Mourinho-esque. It would be Jose-esque. Like, even if he wins the trophy, to be honest, I don't think he should get sacked. Like, at the end of the day, a lot of Spurs fans were saying, "Oh, I'll do X, Y, and Z just to get a trophy." Well, you're in that situation now, and now I know you're crying about the football. At the end of the day, like, I understand because obviously being a Man United fan, I get it. But Spurs are never really known for playing brilliant football. I know under Pochettino, you've been somewhat spoiled.
I disagree. I
suppose you have played decent football.
We've always been known to play their type of football.
But to sacrifice your so-called brilliant football for a trophy, I just think the Spurs fans need to relax a bit, to be honest. Because let's see what happens come the end of the season. If he wins you that trophy, then you can't really say anything to the guy, man. You've not won a trophy in how many years? Like 15, 16 years.
Yeah, but the point is if that was, say, someone like Pochettino, you'd get away with it. But you sign a player, sign a manager based on his CV, based on what he brings to the table. So if he brings a trophy, but no top 4, we have paid 15 million a season for a manager that's not actually succeeded in what was asked.
Yeah, but I asked you at the start of the season, would you sacrifice top 4 for a trophy? You said yeah. You didn't hesitate.
No, but it depends. Now that we've got Mourinho as manager, you can't say to me that that's success. You do not go for a manager.
Wait, no.
No, but all Spurs fans. I spoke to Toby, I spoke to Fuad, I spoke to yourself, I spoke to Jack. So 4 credible Spurs fans on these platforms, and every single one of you, without even hesitation, said, "We'll take 5th and we'll take a trophy."
No.
Without hesitation.
For me, the only trophy I would have taken is the Europa League because it does both. If we came 8th or 9th in the league,
so you would have taken FA Cup or a League Cup. You would have taken FA Cup or a League Cup and finished 5th.
Well, no. If we won the Europa League and came 8th, I wouldn't care because it gets us both of what we wanted to achieve. Do you know what I mean? It gets us both.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of Spurs fans were singing a different tune come start of the season because I think because the Jose effect has finally. I've been there, so I understand where you're coming from, but I just feel like you got to have a bit of a realistic expectation with their club as well. Like, I just feel like the Spurs not haven't won a trophy in so long. If he does come 5th, hypothetically speaking, and wins the League Cup, I'm not going to say it's a success, but I think in terms of your recent history, you probably would say it's a success because you haven't won anything.
I feel like Pochettino's arrogance has rubbed off on a lot of Tottenham fans where every time it came to like a domestic cup competition, he
just sacked it off.
He never took it seriously. He always wanted the championship or the Champions League, and he got neither at the end. So I feel like you need to temper your expectations. I feel like a League Cup is good for you because you haven't won.
I agree. They haven't won anything.
Kish, can I ask Kish? Are your expectations based on Mourinho, or are they based on what you think Spurs can do?
No, for me, it's a bit of both, but it's mainly based on the fact that we've got a manager that we've paid for a particular task. The example I can give, Arteta. If Arteta doesn't win the FA Cup last season, right? What would you class that as? If he doesn't win the FA Cup?
Well, that was the next question, but cheers.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the fact that if Arsenal bought someone like a Mourinho at Arsenal before Arteta came, and he wins nothing and comes say 5th, would fans not say that that's a sackable offence because of the manager?
But there are being 10.
But this is why I asked the question though, because yes, Mourinho with his track record and all that, your expectation is at some point he will bring you an accolade. But then my other side is you're not serial winners. So where is this idea that because he has that history that he comes in and then it changes? Because
my history is the fact that we had a manager previous to Mourinho who didn't have anywhere near the CV that someone like a Mourinho does. So we paid the big bucks for someone that can take us over to the next line, which is maintaining what Pochettino
What's the difference between those two things? because Pochettino, yeah, he didn't have the CV. Never did Mourinho. Mourinho had the CV. Pochettino didn't have the CV of winning things. That's fair. That's true. However, on the other side, Mourinho won things with teams that he was able to do what he wanted to do with them. Now he's been there. What I think the second season, full season, or first full season. Yeah. So, and the players you've brought in, obviously, COVID has affected it as well. But a lot of being loans to buy, or just loans with the option to buy. So, like Jedson, for example, was a lot of the option to buy. He failed, so he's gone. Right. Those players have come in and they failed. And then you look at.
Someone's mic's making a rate noise. I don't know if anyone else.
I know it ain't me because I ain't using the mic today, fam.
It's not me. Oh, it might be Kish. Carry on. I think it was Kish.
Yeah. It feels good that it's not my mic for the first time in ages. That's wonderful.
That's not mine because I muted it.
No, it was yours.
It
is yours.
Let's not do that.
No, by the way, yeah, no, the reason so that you brought the previous manager up, and Pochettino did tell you that your rebuild is going to be painful, so you can't expect this manager to come in with a team that's declining and win something. Now, if he does win something, which is the final in a couple of days, actually, no, next month, sorry, in a couple of weeks, then technically, I know Jack will listen to this and say, one day Ramos did the same thing, but at the end of the day, you are desperate for some level of trophy. The League Cup might not be number one on the list, and I understand that, and I agree with that.
I think
but it's something that needs to come in, because if you can't win that final, I know who the opponents are, but if you can't win that final, you are not going to win other finals, in my opinion. So that's just the beginning. You always have to start somewhere before you can build something else. Do you know what I'm saying? So I first started with an FA Cup. Mourinho's first title at Chelsea was a League Cup. You know what I'm saying? So before we go into the big things, maybe we have to start building something.
I just leave that there.
I agree with that 100%.
I said Arsene Wenger was a league title, but I'll leave that there.
Mourinho caught him within a couple of years anyway, man. That's right.
I agree with what you're saying. But the one thing I would counter to that is you give this same squad to Pochettino, we make top four. I'm not saying that we necessarily would win a trophy.
I don't know.
He did last season.
Because the players that he has under his disposal at Tottenham, you give that same squad to Pochettino, who's
where was he when he got fired?
Kids, can I ask you a question?
Like 15.
Same team, innit?
Can I just ask you a question? Sorry, I've got to ask you this because we speak a lot, right, privately. So you just said if Poch has this team, you get top four, right? By your own admission, most of the players you've signed have been a flop. So apart from Regulon to an extent, and maybe Højbjerg, every other player is Pochettino had, and you finished 15th when he got sacked. So
no, but
he got sacked. You from where you went to top four?
No, but that's what I'm saying. He got sacked with 8 games. We played 8 games from the 2 results before.
Did those 2 signings
both games? So
but the point I'm making is, did those 2 signings that you deem as a success, i.e. Regulon and Højbjerg, do they propel Pochettino's? Let's be honest.
They might not have got if they like.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. That's true.
That's what I mean.
That was
for me personally, you give the likes of Bale, Regulon, and Højbjerg in that team alongside the talent that we already have in attack. I'm not saying defensively, but in attack. I am very, very confident that we would get top 4 under Pochettino. Not because of just listen to me. Not because of the fact that the players we've got, it should get there. It's his man management skills and the way he can handle and dictate.
Man management skills. You remember his man management skills the previous year? Like, no, man.
No, shall I tell you why that's a lie anyway? And shall I tell you why that's a lie? Because the guy that you're even saying would finish top 4 with this squad said himself that we need to have a total
rebuild
of this squad. We need a total rebuild. We need everything. And he even said, and even though he said it in jest and he was joking, and I always bring this up, I bring this up so many times, and it doesn't get taken seriously enough, but Pochettino said in that Champions League interview, if I win the Champions League, I will leave. And the reason why he was saying that, even though he was joking, he was saying that because he knew that players, every great team. Let's even break it down. Every great team has about 4 years in them nowadays, and that's why Alex Ferguson is considered the greatest of all time, because of how he was able to continuously motivate his teams, and to never finish below third is one of the greatest things. Something we will never see again. And to be fair, Pep is doing it now, but cool. We'll see what happens there in terms of longevity. But every great team has about a 4 year season. This is his fourth.
Oh, yeah, he did. Yeah, Joe took points from United. Cahil, fantastic.
Yeah, fair enough then. So yeah, every great team has a 4 year spin cycle, and Pochettino had seen that. And the thing is, Pochettino wanted new players. He wanted to freshen it up, and even the guys that you got now that you're saying he would finish fourth for, those weren't the guys he would have wanted anyway. On top of that, so like that notion, I just don't think is true. When the manager himself, the person you're saying would finish top four, thought the squad wasn't good enough, and then the season we saw first 8 games, you weren't even in the top half of the table. Like, and that's why he got sacked eventually. So I know you're saying it's just 8 games, but it was an indicator into where the season was going to happen. And Mourinho was the one who finished in the Europa League places for you guys, not Poch. So
we're gonna move on. We haven't even mentioned any other team. We've mentioned 2 teams. You like Chelsea and Man City. So we need to go through obviously the other teams. Right. Okay. Moving on to Arsenal. Obviously, a couple of things to discuss here. First and foremost, Arteta, has he been a success? Oh, well, what would you deem his tenure as? Sure, it was a more open question. In terms of what he's achieved so far, or what he hasn't achieved. Obviously, an open question to you guys. You know, where would you put Arteta out of 10 so far as a manager of Arsenal?
5, maybe, and that's just the FA Cup, because his previous finish was 8th or 9th last season. I mean, partly Emery's to blame, but I think Arteta also didn't pull up any trees that season, barring the FA Cup. This season, got kicked out of the FA Cup way too soon by a Southampton team who were in form, but I think we could have easily beat them. League Cup, non-existent. Europa League, we're doing okay. I still think we're favourites to win it, but you never know. And the league doesn't lie.
How are you favourites to win the Europa League? Like, I was gonna let it pass, but I can't.
I feel like we are. I feel like
based on
our team has your team's number. I feel like our 2 teams are the favourites, and our team has your team's number. So if we get to the final, I have confidence in Arsenal to beat Manchester United. That's the only reason.
They've also got a manager that's won a trophy.
Ouch! I didn't say it. He said it. But anyway, let me continue.
I'm not even going to reply because he hasn't seen it. But how old were you when you last won a trophy? 16 years ago.
But I was just comparing. I was comparing.
Man was in fucking primary school when his team last won a trophy.
I was comparing between the 2 teams.
Man was doing Google.
We weren't talking about Spurs. We were talking about Arsenal against Man United. My man just changed topic. You always do this. You go.
Man was doing his stats.
Do you remember last week when Dan was saying something about Man United or something, and you went completely off topic to go in?
Wait, what did I say?
I can't remember. I went on. He was talking about Man United flops, and I said Havertz or something. Havertz not wearing. I can't remember. I mentioned the Chelsea player. But yeah, you were talking about players in form or something, and then Usmaan went in about Havertz or something like that.
Havertz, yeah. It's easy to trigger Usmaan, you know.
No,
it really is.
No, it is. Usmaan.
I'm definitely triggered. I can't get triggered by Arsenal Spurs if I call boys, man.
You see, bro,
right, anyways, go on, Kel, finish your point.
Like I was saying, I feel like our team has your number. So if both our teams get to the final, I think Arsenal should win it. The route to the final is difficult. I still believe Unai Emery has a point to prove against us, so he will be on his A game. But like I said before, the league doesn't lie. A lot of Arsenal fans are saying that Arsenal don't deserve to be
false position, by the way.
Say that again.
Arsenal in a false position.
Exactly, we're in a false position. We don't deserve to be there, and that's absolute nonsense. They're saying that if we take form from January, then that's the reason why we don't deserve to be ninth, and that's ridiculous. The form before that is why we're ninth, and the form now is still why we're ninth. Because that run of games, or I don't know, how is it 9 games without a win or something like that? Ridiculous, utterly ridiculous. Arteta is starting to find his feet in terms of tactics, in terms of way he plays, but I trust the process. I don't. I never have, never will. I don't think I will.
Right.
He might do. He's a specialist in the Europa League, so you never know. But I feel like if we get past Villarreal, we win the Europa League, or we should win it.
All right, fair enough. I think you gave a 5, didn't you, out of 10?
Yeah, because of the FA Cup. That's the only reason.
To be honest, I'd probably agree with a 5. Actually, I was thinking of 4, but I think it's a bit harsh in it because he's had a couple of injuries as well. You know, Martinelli, these Partey's not really been.
He hasn't been playing him. I can say injuries all that, but he doesn't play. When Gabriel got injured or he got sent off, he dropped him. And he was your best defender for the past for the entire season. He just dropped him. He's so weird. Like William Saliba as well. I'm going on a rant here. Sorry, William Saliba as well. Like, why on earth did he let him go out on loan? He's been doing well at Nice right now. Guendouzi could have easily helped sort out our problems in midfield, but got off to Hertha because I don't like you. Nicolas Pepe was annexed from the team, and he's been one of our best players recently. Saka, it took him a few months for Saka and to bring Emil Smith-Rowe into the team. Constantly playing Willian, constantly playing Xhaka. Like, bro,
that's Smith-Rowe.
You're the reason for your own downfall. And if he gets fired, it's because of those decisions.
Yeah,
but I don't think he'll get fired because
Smith-Rowe fell on his lap, didn't it? Because obviously everyone else had COVID, practically, or was injured. Otherwise, he would have played Willian. We all know it. But
exactly. He lucked into that. Nobody expected Emil Smith-Rowe to hit the ground running like he did. And he's even been dropped out of the team recently because Odegaard's in there now. And when Odegaard goes, which I still believe he will come, he'll be an Arsenal player next year. But if he does go, and is Real
Madrid will sell him?
I think so. Yeah, I feel like he wants to be at Arsenal. He wants to be.
I don't know. I think if you have him for one more year, it's a loan deal.
That's the Arsenal. That's the Arsenal you talking.
That's the Arsenal you talking.
It's everything I read. It's or watch or look at seems like he's really enjoying what Arteta is doing.
Cahil, what are your thoughts on Odegaard convincing Haaland to join Arsenal?
I think Haaland is gonna set the ground on fire. He'll be not as good as Henry, but
if Arsenal buy Haaland, they'd probably collapse as a club. As in
Oh God! Listen, in terms of Arteta, like for me personally, look, he's got a lot to prove for me. I don't know why Arsenal fans are letting him off the hook. Emery didn't get the same.
It's because the fans are doing this whole. I know where my team is at, and it's like, but they're not.
Nonsense. It's all bullshit.
Yeah, it's nonsense. Literally, it's nonsense.
It's fake bravado, mate. It's fake bravado.
As Cahil said, the decisions he made beforehand, which were very, very questionable, are the reason why Arsenal are where they are right now. So you can't now come and say, I know, I can see what he's doing. He's trying to build something. That's BS. That's absolute BS. If he's trying to build something, we should start to see that build from the jump. Smith-Rowe shouldn't have come in by chance. Willian shouldn't have been starting so many games. Now it's with Xhaka. He loves Xhaka. No one can defend that. You know,
bro. That guy was out the door. He was out the door, and he put it back in.
And the changes at the back, he said it. Gabriel out of nowhere. Mari would have 1 or 2 games. I'm not even a bigger Mari fan. We have 1 or 2 games, and we don't see Mari anymore. Like all these things. So yeah, exactly. So look, at the end of the day, where they are, it's not a full position. It's absolute fact, and that's what they're trying to do. I can see where my team is. It's like look, I say United are expensive Everton. Gucci Everton, yeah?
That's exactly what I said on Sam's show yesterday.
And what I mean by that...
Sorry, I have to... Just literally just now, but City are letting Aguero go this summer.
Makes sense.
Haaland!
No, we already covered that, don't we, Daniel?
Wasn't he meant to go back at some point?
Probably, yeah.
No, but it's not necessarily Haaland. They're looking at Danny Ings as well.
Would you sign it?
Yeah, listen.
Daniel, would you sign Aguero on a cheeky little punt?
If we're buying another striker, yeah, I wouldn't just sign Aguero and stop there, though.
That's a Monday minute.
You might come to you know.
That's what they're doing. They're doing that whole, I know where my team is, and we've got so much to do, and he has so much to do, but he should have done better in his job. And that's okay to admit also. So that's where they are right now, isn't it? That's what Arsenal is.
If we were 6,
I wouldn't mention.
Can't complain. But we're 9th. We've been 10th. We've been 11th. We've been 12th. It's been unacceptable the entire year, man. Been unacceptable.
Yeah, if he wins the Europa League, then as Kish has put down here, if he wins the Europa League, then that's a huge success for Arsenal this season. To be honest, can you imagine Arsenal win the Europa League? They get Champions League football. Their fan base would be absolutely unbearable. Unbearable. You love to see it. But listen, we're going to mention Leicester because a lot of people are talking about. We don't mention Leicester. Of course, we haven't spoken about West Ham or Suchek and Dembele because Lawless isn't here to defend himself.
Look at Kish. He said, "Well, okay."
Lawless isn't here to defend himself, so I don't really want to mention it. But yeah, let's talk about Leicester. Obviously,
I got my stat book ready just in case, so it's kind of.
But obviously, Iheanacho kicking us out of the FA Cup. Fantastic performance from Leicester. And his interview was brilliant, so I'm happy for the guy on a personal level. He's been killing the scene of late. My question is to you guys. Obviously, I've been very critical of Leicester. I said on the group chat, I don't want Leicester in the Champions League because they didn't do anything in the Europa League. So for me personally, I don't see what they'll do in the Champions League. They can't even.
They did well when they won the Champions League first time, didn't they?
Yeah, but that was it. Yeah, they did well. They got to quarters, if I'm not wrong. They did well for what we expect, but that was a different team, wasn't it? But the point I'm making is
a worse team, though.
Yeah, it's true. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, for me, if you can't do anything in the Europa League, this includes Man United as well. If you don't do anything, Spurs, Arsenal, any team in the Europa League, you shouldn't be in the Champions League. Obviously, if you get there by merit, via the top four, then obviously you say you deserve it. But the point I'm making is, it's just pointless. I'd rather another team have an opportunity to be in the Champions League that might have somewhat of an impact. So yeah, I'm going to throw that out there, guys. What are your thoughts?
I don't know if you can judge it like that. Obviously, if they do get there, then it depends on their recruitment and all that. That's obviously another discussion. But what they do in the Europa League does not determine what they will do in the Champions League. Will they be favourites? No, but doesn't mean they can't go out there and at least. I think a good showing for them would be, where did they get to last time? Was it quarterfinals?
I think so.
Of the Champions League after they won the league, right? Mm-hmm. So if they go to the knockouts, or if they get out of the groups, I think that'll be a good run for them. And if they go further, it's a bit of a bonus for Leicester because they're not seen to be doing anything in that. They won't be seeded high. They won't be favourites. So I wouldn't. I know they haven't been great in the Europa League this year, but I wouldn't use that as a factor as to why I wouldn't see them. I wouldn't want to see them in the Champions League. It's interesting.
Yeah, you have to. And it's not even about that. Like, I'd say that's a fan perspective. That's a fan view. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want to see. But at the end of the day, clubs aren't really run that way. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you just strip it all down, the long-term aim of every football club is to win the league. Do you know what I'm saying? Whether you're West Brom, whether you're Man United, that is the long-term aim. You're in football to win things. And that's what they want to do with the resources that they have. They're going to try and win the league. Of course, they have their objectives every season, but that's the long term. That's the reason why you create a football club, because you want to win. So Leicester are in a situation where they've started they're trying to build their legacy. Do you know what I'm saying? Cement their status, try and consistently finish in the top 6, top 4, and then be someone that are recognized as someone to be like reckoned with, basically. So I think they're doing a good job. Like they can keep doing what they're doing. Since that Champions League run, they've not been in the Champions League since then, and that's because of poor form in the Premier League, even in situations where they should have finished in the top 4. So I think it's about time that they finally finish in the Champions League spot normally, rather than freakishly winning the league or dropping out of the top 4 altogether due to poor form. So like, I'm fine with them being in the Champions League. It means that one of our clubs didn't do well.
For me as well, in previous years, you've had teams like your Marseilles, Lyons, Roma, who've got to like quarters and semis of Champions League, but they've never really done anything in their own leagues apart from top 4, and they've never won the Europa League. So for us to then say that these teams who also can't win Europa Leagues are not good enough to be involved in the Champions League, I think is a bit unfair, because they can always turn it on one night. And that game that Leicester lost against Standard Liège, it was well poised, and then the second leg they just lost. It's just what happens. Happened with Rangers, where first leg was 0-0 or 1-1, and then they lost the second leg. You can always lose these sort of games, and I think that's what's happened. They're still in an FA Cup semi where really they should beat Southampton and be in a final. And if they get into an FA Cup final and top 4, for me, Brendan Rodgers has done wonders. to be honest with you, if he does achieve those two tasks.
Yeah, no, just look, my logic wasn't so much like in terms of look, if whoever finishes in the top 4, of course they deserve it. I'm not taking that away from anyone. My logic was more, and this goes for, I'm going to use Man United as an example because of course it's my team. So I feel as a Manchester United fan, if we can't compete in the Europa League, right, I don't see why we should be in the Champions League. If we can't compete in the Europa League, and like for me, I said on yesterday's Sam show last night, if Man United do not win the Europa League this season, the only valid excuse they can have is losing to Arsenal. But if they don't win the Europa League minus it being to Arsenal, then it's an absolute embarrassment. With the players, the caliber of players we got compared to the teams that are left in the competition, we should really walk it. I know Roma and Ajax are going to be a challenge if we get to them teams, but if we can't do it in the Europa League,
are you saying then?
But
use that same logic. Use that same logic with the league last season. Then you lot weren't great in the league. You had a great lockdown run. So what you're saying, you would have said no to Champions League because you weren't good enough.
It's not that I would have said no to Champions League. But what I'm saying is, like, for me personally, like, if we're not doing it, if we can't compete in the Europa League to a high standard with the players we've got, I've got absolutely no faith that we should be in the Champions League because I don't think that we'd compete to any what of a standard in the Champions League. It's like I'd rather someone else get in there that might actually do something. So like, let's just say Man United got kicked out in the round of 32 in the Europa League, for example, right? Then what's the point of us being in the Champions League? We're not going to do shit in the Champions League. We won't get kicked out in the group stage again.
I have to disagree with that because at the end of the day, Chelsea won the Champions League in a year when we had no right to even play or be there. Do you know what I'm saying? So you can't say because we can't compete because with the players that we have.
I'm saying as a fan, I'd rather someone else be in there over Man United if they can't do it in the Europa League.
Are you in favour of like a Super League?
No chance. I hate that shit. I hope that doesn't happen.
Well, you're sounding like you are.
Yeah. Nah. It's not even that. It's like if Man United
give me all the coefficients, man. That's
It's like if Man United can't do it in the Europa League, then they shouldn't be in the Champions League. They've got to do it in the Europa, at least compete in the Europa League first before, for me, they've had any, like, I just don't think they'll be good enough for Champions League. Like, I'd rather, like, let's just say it's between Man United and Chelsea to get Champions League, right? Yeah, for this season, yeah. Let's just say it was lot of 5 for 4th, and then just say Chelsea are 4th, Man United are 5th, yeah, for example, yeah. So let's say Chelsea beat Atletico Madrid. Let's say you go through the next stage, which you should do. So you're in the semis, right? You're in the semis of the Champions League. Man United lose to Granada, yeah. Let's just say we lose to Granada, and then Man United get top 4. Chelsea come 5th. For me personally, I'd rather see Chelsea in the Champions League. That might obviously. I take away the.
I don't think you believe that.
No, not as a bias. Take away the.
I don't think you believe that.
I'm saying as a neutral looking from the outside in, I'd rather see a Chelsea in there over a Man United who can't even do it in the Europa League, and Chelsea have done it in the Champions League to what extent they've competed.
That's like saying that Juventus don't deserve the Champions League then, because they've only been in one quarter in about 6 years in the Champions League.
That's like saying Sevilla
might be
don't deserve to be in because they dominate the Europa League but can't do anything in the Champions League, so they should never be allowed.
Yeah, but they've won the Europa League, so that's different though. So they've actually
no. But I'm saying I'm just flipping what you're saying. So they dominate the Europa League but can't do well in the Champions League, so they should never ever be. They're not good enough for the Champions League. Basically, they should always remain.
If they dominate the Europa League, then obviously they can make that step up. But I think if a team struggles in the Europa League,
Sevilla have never.
No, but what I'm saying is, if a team struggles in the Europa League, let's say if we get kicked out of the group stage, what right do we have to be in the Champions League? We're not going to do shit in the Champions League. We can't do it in the Europa League. That's the point I'm making. Like
that's not true though.
Well, that's my personal opinion. I've always been like
that's not true. So if you don't. You're basically saying if you don't do well in the Europa League, you won't do well in the Champions League.
I'm not saying you won't do well, but I'd rather see a team that's done well in the Champions League than get another chance to obviously.
Yeah, you want a Super League, bro.
But what's the guarantee that a team that's done well in the Champions League will go in there next year and pop it? They might go out there and fail at the first time.
There isn't a guarantee. But what I'm saying is,
wasn't that Chelsea?
That was us. Group stages, remember?
And Chelsea. United have done it twice. United have done it twice.
I'd rather different teams.
Chill.
I'd rather different teams represent England in the Champions League than teams that are going in like Arsenal losing 5-1 every week, like against Bayern Munich. Like it's just pointless to me.
Just around. No, see, Daniel.
He's done it again.
I've done it again, right?
No, literally. I just ignored it. Do you know what? I love it. This man's a super fan. That's what super fans do. Like they just have this ego in them. They have the needle in them. They have to just do it.
But that is an example I'm making. Would you rather see Arsenal lose? Now I'm just throwing. Look, I use Man United first.
Yeah, but the fact that
would you rather see Arsenal lose 5-1 every time to Bayern Munich, or would you rather someone else get a chance to?
There's no shame in losing the Bayern Munich because we done our job in the group stage. If we get past the group stage, we have every right to be in the Champions League.
There's no shame losing 15-3 or 10-2. Come on.
There's no shame in losing the Bayern Munich.
No shame.
There's no shame in losing Bayern Munich. Sorry.
There's no shame to losing to Bayern Munich, right? I'm with him. There's absolutely no shame.
Didn't Bayern Munich absolutely hammer Barcelona last season?
They hammered, bro. They beat Barcelona like 7-1 on aggregate.
7-3, I think it was 7-2 or
exactly.
Right, okay. Apparently, I want a Super League. Anyways, let's move on from that.
And Michael, you think I'm not seeing you? Shut your mouth, Philip, bro.
Next week's title already sorted. Then.
Kojo, I love that.
That's next week's title sorted.
I can't believe no one said nothing. He just said there's no shame in losing 15-3 in 3 games.
No. I said there's no shame.
Bayern Munich have dealt with all of our clubs in the Champions League. Like, Daniel.
Did your club lose 10-2?
No, but we lost.
Okay.
Lost 5-1.
Okay, on one occasion they did it.
They ran away.
They did like 3 beat.
That's when DT made that mad video where he was
that was a historically for AFTV.
But this is genuinely why when people tell me that I'm not a real fan sometimes, because I'm not a season ticket holder, so I literally can't go all games in it. So I mostly go to home games. But you think I will spend my money, go to Germany, pay for a hotel room, and lose 5-1, and then go back? You can be a real fan. I don't care. You can.
Bro,
not going.
The last time I went to an Arsenal game, we lost to Monaco. Have I been back since?
Bro, my last game was Man United losing 2-0 to Burnley at OT, bro. I was behind my last scored off the bar. Oh my God.
To be fair, my last Chelsea game was Chelsea-Leicester last season, 2-2, and I travelled for that game, and that's not a bad game to go watch, even though we drew. The thing is, when you go to a game, I feel like, I don't know if I have this feeling, when you go to a game, if it's an entertaining game, you can settle for the result. I don't know, it's weird. But if I watch it at home, I'm angry.
Yeah, man. I hear you, but when you lose 2-0 to Burnley and don't have a shot on target, I wasn't happy that Dillis.
Oh, wait, you want to go watch that one?
I was there. When Rodriguez scored off the bar, I was behind the net. And I was like, what? I was like, no, that was depressing. I think that's, I don't know.
You know what, I know this is a random thought, it's crazy, but have you ever thought of, if what would happen if, like, let's say, for example, United need a goal to win the league, and they're literally one-on-one with the keeper, and then a fan runs on and tackles him. What do you think they do? Like, it's a random thought.
That fan's a legend, yo.
A legend, like folklore. But you think he'd probably get arrested and like put in prison?
He'd be banned for life.
Oh yeah, he'll be banned for life. But he contributes to winning the title, so does he care?
Exactly.
Bro, in 2 years' time, he sees himself on Premier League years. He's made history. Who cares, bro?
I won the title at Old Trafford. You could never,
get married, show your wife, show your kids. This is me on TV. Bro, who cares, bro?
Bro, if I'm the manager, whoever's team that is,
I'm setting them up.
For life.
I'm like,
for life.
In the dressing room, you're lifting trophies. Bro, you're walking around. You know that. Yeah. Love that quality. But listen, I'm gonna finish. Should we mention Man United? I don't know, really kind of want to be honest. We mentioned it briefly. It's been 2 years since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer signed a permanent contract at Man United. We're going to discuss this in more detail in tomorrow's podcast. So obviously we'll keep it blunt. Whoever fancied it, what do you reckon? Has there been progress? Has he been successful in his tenure so far?
No and no.
You're second.
I said no and no.
I'm massively disagree.
That's what make a case for him being successful then. Come on, lads.
I genuinely think he's done quite a few things. I think first and foremost he's brought a bit of the old Man United back in terms of having the players into the coaching staff that actually know what the club is and the DNA around the club. I think he's got rid of a lot of dead wood that Mourinho did leave and previous managers as well that had to be let go, to be fair. And I think he's probably brought a bit of belief back within that team that, that you can push forward. Do I think he's the manager that will win you the major trophies? No. But do I think that he's going to leave a squad by the time he does leave or gets sacked that has a better opportunity than previous managers did? 100%. I think he's brought.
Do you know why? Do you know why I said no? I said no.
You're not allowed to speak yet because you're a United fan.
Shut up! I'm speaking. Shut up! Hey, listen, yeah, no. Let me give you my reason that you can counter me. I know you like to do counter attack like a club. Okay, right. No, do we? All bad aside, because I said no, and I just drops it there. Honestly, Kish is right. He has progressed the team in some way. It's facts, yeah. But the reason why I said no one knows because this is actually United fans. Forget about the whole outside. This is based at United fans. United fans have been here before, and they were slandering the team for it. They were slandering the management for it because of the style of football and this, that, and the other. But you've been here before, so I don't want them to now shift the goalposts and say, "Oh, yeah, he's doing well now." Because no. We've been here before, but I want to see more progression. Now, I'm not saying now it's not second this year, so first must be next year. That's not how football works. But the steps need to continue because there will be many things that will leave a black mark on him. I've said it. Semi-finals, unfortunately, he's been to a lot of them and he's lost. That's true. But in the league, he's finished third and he's about to finish in the top 4 again, which means for the first time since Alex Ferguson, we will finish in the top 4 qualified for the Champions League in consecutive years. So for me, it's a 50-50 thing. He has progressed on some level, but saying...
an elite manager.
Pardon?
Was Claudio Ranieri an elite manager?
No,
I wouldn't say so, actually.
But you won the Prem.
Exactly.
No.
But
I haven't said you have to be an elite manager to win the Prem.
Comment.
Yeah, my comment is not saying you have to be an elite manager to win the Prem. Not every elite manager wins the Premier League. That's fact, so that's fine. But what I'm saying is, I'm not even trying to criticize his work too tough. But there'll be black marks on both sides, and there'll be good marks on both sides to why people will think it's a failure or a success. All I'm saying is, I'm not going to call him a success yet. No, if I call him a failure because he is doing well with the team that he's got right now. That's a fact. But I'm not going to call him a success right now because at the end of the day, and he will say it himself, and I believe he knows this despite his comments in the last couple of weeks, he knows at some point he won't have to collect an accolade. And when he collects an accolade, then we go from there. What accolade that is, I don't know. I'm not saying that's be Premier League though. I'm not saying that.
Do you know what I'd be interesting to listen to? Some old Man U fans. You know when Fergie first arrived at Man United, he was in a very similar situation where there was a lot of older players.
That's true.
That he had to get rid of. And
that's true.
Fergie nearly got sacked. If he didn't win that FA Cup, I think it was his second or third season.
That's true.
He was sacked. And it seems very, very similar. So I would love to maybe speak to some older generation Man United fans and see is it similar or not, because the way I see it, it looks very similar in terms of the way it is.
That's true, but the game is very different to how it was back then. That's the main thing.
No, and that's fine. But my thing is now, and this is what I'll say. One, first of all, when Ollie wins, Ollie will win a trophy with Man United. I want to see where the goalposts land, whether it'll be in Croydon or in Leicester, or move it again for him. That's one. Two, it's the and you talk about Tottenham being entitled.
Yeah,
Man United's level of entitlement is just is a different type of entitlement.
Because they were spoiled. Because they were spoiled. That's why.
You were spoiled, and there's nothing wrong. Look, there's nothing wrong with that because Chelsea fans have it as well. But Man United fans are showing it with Ollie. The fact that they can't even see progress in United as a team, bro. Look at the this is what I find so funny about United fans. United fans do all this complaining about the structural setup of Man United, how difficult it is to work with the Glazers and Ed Woodward and all of that, with good reason, of course, facts. But then Ollie is working under those same ramifications, under those same difficult circumstances, and is still producing at a level he shouldn't be, but he is. So then,
Daniel,
hold on.
Go on. I'll ask you a question after. Go on.
Yeah, you can. On the pitch, I have no you will never see me argue with a United fan who says that he doesn't like the football that they play. That's fine. Of course, that's understandable. That's what you see. That's what the manager implements. And Ollie's had enough time to implement a style. And really and truly, we haven't really seen enough of it or a consistent style that's been successful. But for someone to sit there and say, as a whole, when you're looking at it objectively, that Oli hasn't improved Man United, then you're just being deluded. Just because it's not accelerated, it's the accelerated progress that you want. That doesn't mean progress hasn't been made. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just think United fans need to add a bit of perspective when Oli, or with this Oli situation. You can't say Oli is a dead manager. Oli doesn't know what he's doing, but then Oli's finishing second ahead of some of the best managers in the league. And then Oli is also getting results, scraping results. Yeah, he's keeping his job. But fam, one of the biggest skills in football as a manager, and Kojo, you would know this, is your players to play for you. If your players play for
Kojo took his team to third.
Oh my days. We're going back to this day.
you couldn't get first though, Kojo. Imagine the supporters of Kojo's club saying, "Oh, you couldn't get first, Kojo." Though,
man.
Come on, man. Come on.
But it's true though. But that's why I'm not putting pressure on him to be first, because I don't think Man United are placed to get first anyway. So the fact that he's second, like I said before, is good progression on some level. But I said that United fans that have criticized previous regimes for winning stuff or being second, I don't want to hear that kind of talk.
No, that's no.
That's what I was saying before. What your point is? No, your point.
Listen. Alex Ferguson is a dream. That doesn't happen. I keep saying Alex Ferguson, Arsene Wenger. Just get that out. That's never going to happen.
I'm not talking about Alex Ferguson.
I know. I'm getting to what you were saying. You're saying people were moving the goalposts and saying you don't want to hear people saying second achievement, blah blah blah. Bro, after Alex Ferguson, who did you have? David Moyes. David Moyes didn't get the time, whatever, but he didn't do good enough. Kojo hates David Moyes.
He didn't deserve time. Don't come and do that. He didn't deserve time. Move on. Next person. We're done with him. Next person.
Louis Van Gaal comes in. Louis Van Gaal didn't finish second, did he? I mean, yeah, he won a trophy in his final game, but he never finished in the top four. And then he got moved on. You're getting Mourinho, the savior, the guy, the god. Mourinho finished second, and he got criticized for it. But the reason why he got criticized for it is because, one, it was Mourinho, and he was expected to do great things at United. He was expected to get them back to the Premier League. And that's why I disagreed heavily with Usmaan. This was chat talk when he said that Oli has a better squad than Mourinho. No way. No way. Better squad. No way.
I stand by that.
Yeah,
I don't think he does. I disagree with that. I don't think he does.
I don't think he does. And then that's two. And then Mourinho ended up winning his trophies. And even after winning his trophies, he was still
Mourinho had Smalling and Rowe at centre back, bro.
Now he has
Maguire and Lindelof.
Yeah.
And who's the captain, sorry?
Smalling, Rojo, Ashley Young, Valencia was our defensive choices, man.
What's your midfield when Pogba's missing?
Well, I think the team's better now. Rashford's a better.
Yeah, Pogba, Herrera. You had Herrera.
No, I don't think so.
I think
the options are better.
Ibrahimovic, Mkhitaryan. Bro,
would you not give anything to have that Herrera back over these two guys we have right now?
Could you challenge with that squad right now?
We got a player in Van der Beek that hasn't been utilised.
He's not been utilised, so forget about him. Forget about him.
You said who's a better squad? I think this squad.
Yeah. But you're forgetting that Mata was it wasn't prime Mata, but it was a younger Mata.
It was a good Mata. It was a good Mata.
It was Ander Herrera.
We got
Ander Herrera is who
Bruno
right now.
Who you having? Bruno Mata.
No. That's not the point, though. But I'm talking about strength and depth. Because after Bruno, who plays? That's what we're talking about.
No, I think the squad's better.
You still had Martial. I'm forgetting you had Martial, Rashford, Ibrahimovic, Lukaku, Mkhitaryan.
But these versions of those players are better. And Rashford's a better player now than he was then. Obviously, Martial, I can't really say much about that, but
yes, Usmaan.
You can say
De Gea was the best in the world when Mourinho.
Yeah, Valencia and Fellaini. He played Fellaini.
You guys remember Black Chelsea United?
Bro,
hey, they were slapping 4 deals though. They were late, but they were slapping them.
And Usmaan, you're complaining about the guys that you're saying, look, you have after Wan-Bissaka, who's your right back? Wouldn't you prefer to have Valencia?
Jose did a good job with his squad.
Valencia and Ashley Young are better right back options than Wan-Bissaka and
I think Jose
Timothy Fosu.
I'm actually saying Jose did better than Oli with the squad that he had at his disposal, because I think the defense that Jose had was shocking.
Well, you see, this is literally an example of moving the goalpost, though. because now you're talking about the squad that Oli has. So you're implying.
You said whose squad's better. I think the squad that we got right now is better than what Jose had personally.
So
because Mkhitaryan didn't really do anything. Like,
what? Because remember, Jose finished 6th and 2nd.
Yeah, no, I think Jose
finished 3rd and 2nd.
The board were meant to sign him Alderweireld, and they said no. Like, he wanted Alderweireld when he was still a good player. What, 20 million or something? It was 27 million, and they said no. You got Smalling and Rojo. Like,
no, but my question is, what's the next best thing then with this squad that you're saying? Because Man City are obviously the best, and he's now 2nd best. So what do you want him to do?
I'll be honest, right? And I don't know what Kojo thinks. Like, for me personally, I'm not deluded. And I said this like on another podcast. I don't think we'll win the Premier League as long as Pep stays in the league personally. Because I just think Pep is too good with the tools he's got. These man's no FFP as well. These mans are going to spend stupid to ensure you get so. From Ollie's perspective, I just want to see us do better in the cup competition. Sorry, obviously he's competed to an extent, but at least win one of them and just play better football. At the end of the day, I can't sit here as a Man United fan and feel entitled to say that we're going to win the league because I don't think any fan should have that entitlement anymore. It's not the same Man United as it was.
What is better football to you? That's a genuine question.
Well,
consistent attacking football and actual consistency.
And do you know what's
game?
Do you know what's even funny? Do you know what's even funny? That same play, that same bringing the ball out of the back, it's Fred who's going to be bringing the ball out of the back.
It's not even that. It's like sustaining attacks. Obviously, half of our games, right? There's no patterns for me personally. There's no so-called philosophy. You don't know what we're doing from game to game. Like, you don't know what. Now, one game against Chelsea in the first half, we pressed. And I've never seen that.
But do you not think that's because of the lack of quality? That's what I'm asking, because that's why I'm saying that I'm not going to give him the complete criticism nor complete success, because there's so many things that I can say in his defense as well.
Yeah, look, there's a lack of quality in some aspects, but at the same time, he's playing them. He chose to play Fred and McTominay over Van der Beek when he had a quality player there, and he decided not to utilize him. And then at the end of the day, you've got to put that on the manager. Like, for me personally, it's like similar to when Sarri had like Kante and like Jorginho and all these ones. He didn't know what to do with them. He was playing Kante and Cam. It's like, if you're not utilizing him in his right position, then you've got to put that on the manager. Like, it's the same with Van der Beek. Like, if you can't say, oh, we've got McFred. Well, who's picking them? Like, if he wanted to, he could use Matic and Van der Beek when Pogba was injured.
I personally, Ollie's making a statement to the board by not playing Van der Beek.
Yeah, he didn't want Van der Beek.
It's clear that
he didn't know. So why is that his fault?
People should learn that making statements to our board does not do anything.
Came out openly said he needs a centre back and he did nothing. So Ollie ain't gonna do shit. He hasn't got the credit in the bank to be putting out statements to the board. Like, Jose Mourinho couldn't get through to this board, so just work with what you got. And at the end of the day, look, for me personally, and Kish, I'm sure you can agree, like, if you don't play great football, you have to have success, i.e. trophies. And if you don't have that success, then you start to question other factors, i.e. why we're playing poor football. I grew up on Arsenal playing some of the best football in my lifetime, and I would stand by Arsenal, the best footballing team in the Premier League history. Like, I know Man City are doing brilliant here, but I would still prefer Wenger's football over Man City's. But the thing is, this is why I criticize Arteta. If this is Wenger in charge, Arsenal's still playing good football with the players he's got.
This is my counter.
Wenger's in top 4 right now.
Our football wasn't the best football. It was winning football.
You can't see progress.
He's there about 56.
You can't see progress. Man United under Ollie, you can see progress. There is genuine progress. You can see that. That's the difference.
There is progress, but you summed it up perfectly, and you were spot on. I just don't think he's the guy to win the Premier League with Pep here. Unless Pep goes, then it might change. But I don't think Oli will ever overtake Pep for obvious reasons, and Pep is Pep in it. So I think we need an elite coach to get the best out of players. Like, you've seen so many coaches who get 20% more than what that player is capable of because of their ability to obviously, feed them bullshit, basically.
But you're assuming that these elite coaches will come from, I'm assuming you want Nagelsmann. You're assuming that he will come from Germany.
Ten Hag and bring one of them, please.
And it's not guaranteed. It's not guaranteed.
I want another manager to come in with patterns of play.
based on what.
I want another manager to come in.
Look at Tuchel and look at Lampard. That is the perfect example of what I'm saying.
No, but you're saying Nagelsmann, who's never won a trophy, though.
Yeah, but Poch had never won a trophy. I still would have taken Poch over Ali.
Yeah, but you would have taken Poch because of what he did at Tottenham
in the Premier League. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're saying Nagelsmann based on what he did with Leipzig. Leipzig, let me tell you now, and he has a platform in Leipzig.
I know.
And on top of that, he has a crop of young players where no one has a personality. No one's going to force their way. No one's going to say, I want to be playing. No one's going to say this, and that.
I understand that. That's a fair point.
I'm just saying, look, I appreciate Oli for what he's done. He's been the best manager.
I've never once not given him credit for what he's done. I've said I respect him for what he's done. He set the Oli set the foundations. We need another guy to come in and take the reins. It's basically what Spurs wanted with Jose when Poch left. That's what it is. But obviously not the effect that Jose's had, hopefully. So that's
for me, there's one guy. Carlo Ancelotti, you have to go out and get Carlo Ancelotti.
I wanted Ancelotti. That was the guy.
How many elite managers are there that out left there? If I'm being honest, how many elite managers are there?
Kojo, would you take Ancelotti?
Of course.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's but again, the question asked is how many elite managers are there? You can put him on top of that because of his accolades in the past. Pep is an elite manager. Klopp is an elite manager.
Ancelotti's still an elite manager. If Ancelotti was the manager of Man City, he'd be doing the same thing Pep's doing.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just saying.
Ancelotti, it'd be a different conversation. I'd be more confident.
I've mentioned 3 names. How many more names can you give me as elites that people will say unanimously that this guy is it?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's fair enough. Like, I can't knock it. Someone's put Brendan Rodgers down in the chat, Kojo. What do you reckon?
Well, as elite.
Not elite, as in, would you take him on head?
Oh, would I take him? I don't know.
What do you guys reckon Brendan Rodgers to
me and Kel feel a little bit iffy about him at times. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I don't think he's the guy.
I don't know.
If
you wouldn't take Brendan Rodgers at Arsenal?
No.
I think he'd be a good fit for Arsenal.
You are going to get that style of football with Brendan Rodgers.
I think he'd be good for Arsenal.
I'm not concerned. Me personally, I don't care about style of football. I just want winning football. That's what I care about.
What did you say?
I'm not opposed.
And that's the same with every fan. But my point is the fact that when you signed Louis van Gaal, he got Holland to the semi-finals of the World Cup. Everyone said there was a match made in.
He's an international.
That's an international coach.
But this is what there's no guarantee.
Then Mourinho, they said Mourinho was the Messiah. I mean, the Chelsea thing.
Look,
let's call it for what it is. Every manager, especially the guys who are experienced, we make excuses for their past because they're coming to our team, and it's the same thing with Tuchel. You think I'm not skeptical of the fact that after maybe the year we do win,
you wouldn't know the way you talk on about how Chelsea
wants a bit more. You see, that's another mark. How many times are we going to do it?
Just keep fishing. Bro. He'll hook every time.
No, but and you think I'm not skeptical of the fact that after potentially, hopefully, he wins a trophy, a good trophy, and then he wants a bit more control in the structure and how everything's working because he thinks he's got more tokens. You think I don't think he could fall out with the managers because everyone is just looking now tunnel vision.
With everyone though.
No, of course, but I'm just saying with Oli, it's been 3 years now, and there's been no fair enough, he's a yes man, but you can't complain at a man who is doing his job. He deserves his pay. And there's no one on this earth that can tell me he doesn't. He deserves it. He deserves the money he's getting.
If he comes second, then fair play to him.
Of course, it's all contingent on him comes. We're just
based fifth, then
if he comes second, of course. But I'm just saying, give the guy a break. I know you want to be Man United of old, but come on,
those days are far away, brother.
United were fifth. I want to see what they'd be doing to Oli. They'd be finishing this guy.
They will go to his yard.
You've also got to say as well, the problem is at the top. You ended up getting Cavani, he's still a quality player, but he's past his prime. When his main target was clearly Sancho from the beginning of the season, the board did not give him what he truthfully wanted. He got a B-Tech version.
We're going to discuss the board.
And he got a player that he never wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's not.
I'm just saying he hasn't been
trust me,
the problem always starts from the top.
We know that. There's no Man United fan you can speak to that doesn't hate the board first. Like, it's not a thing. It's like with Newcastle, West Ham, Arsenal to an extent as well. Like, it will be
to an extent. Oh, yo.
Sorry. I apologize. Look, whoever's got a bad, board, as the team I mentioned, they understand what I'm saying here. There's no point. It's just we all hate our boards. It's irrelevant, right? We're gonna finish on some general chat because obviously it's a season review thus far. We kind of haven't really mentioned like the golden boots and but we haven't got time. So I'm just gonna ask this: thoughts on VAR this season, lads? Success or failure, and what are your reasons for it? Anyone want to take that one?
Failure. I think a massive failure. I think the fact
VAR success or failure.
I think the idea of VAR is great. I think it's more about the approach of VAR. I think the fact that VAR has been introduced, referees have stopped doing their own job and
they weren't doing it before.
Reliant upon a system to make their decisions for them rather than actually going out of their way to make the decision first beforehand. And I think with that continuing long term, and particularly with the decisions behind the panel not having a former footballer, I know a lot of people saying you could have bias aside and whatever, but I do feel like you need to have someone behind who's actually got actual footballing experience rather than someone who's involved.
I disagree with that. I have no problem. I feel like the conversation about VAR needs to go exactly where it needs to go, and that's the referees. I have no problem with VAR because the referees are shocking. I don't feel like if you get somebody who is a footballing that will change it. What will change it is good quality referees, and we haven't had that in decades. We're missing Howard Webb and Mark Clattenburg. Yeah, and every week we had a complaint about them. But they were the best of a bunch, and the refereeing has just been horrible. I don't understand it anymore. It's just been awful.
To add to that as well, I feel like you man should definitely watch Tifo Football. They basically break down VAR, and it was like spot on. Like they basically broke it down between application and theory. Like in theory, like VAR is perfect, but one thing people don't factor in. And it's something that I even was like, like I knew this, but I never really thought this and spoke about this, is that refereeing decisions, yeah, fair enough, there are some decisions that are black and white, but a lot of refereeing decisions are opinionated. Like,
there's a lot of grey zones in football.
Depends on a lot of greys in football. Yeah, a lot of greys. Yeah. And people don't factor that into human error.
It's different.
Yeah. Granted, though, the referees, though, right now, it's too bad. Like, it's too bad.
It's actually embarrassing.
It's
actually embarrassing how hard it is. But in terms of like VAR, like, I just want to use the example of other sports, tennis, cricket, in particular, obviously, Hawkeye. It's like imagine it's like a cricket fan. Yeah. It's like a cricket fan and basketball as well. It's like a cricket fan saying, "Oh, we should get rid of it because it doesn't work." It just blows my mind. Like it's the application from the people behind. And we spoke about a certain man.
But with cricket, though,
it's black and white, though.
With cricket,
cricket's black and white.
Most of the time it is. Yeah, there is a couple of grey areas with but mainly black and white. But the point I'm making is. I agree with Cahil completely. It's down to the application, it's down to the referees, and the fact that this is what pisses me off. People straight away, get rid of VAR. You see all these pundits like all it is ruining the game. It's not fucking ruining the game. It's the referees. There's a reason why no English referees represent us in major competitions, and when they do, they
embarrass us.
Mistake. At the end of the day. I don't watch international football, but I know about referee who had an absolute howler, English referee, I don't even remember his name, but had a howler on international duty. What a shock. The first proper mistake is an English referee. Like, the application is shocking. There's no consistency. Like, there's been so many incidences this season, right, that they've changed the rules. Like, I don't even know what handball is anymore. 1 second is up to the sleeve, 1 second is down here, 1 second... Everyone knew what handball was.
It's like... In the international break, the clear-cut example of needing technology. Cristiano Ronaldo had a goal.
Bro, that was shocking.
You can't tell me that we don't need that system.
Mistakes. Referees, they can't. It's hard for them. It's a fast-paced game. It's difficult, but the players diving as well in this generation as well. So it's hard to actually see, like, you need a second replay half the time. Even us as fans, when we see it 2 or 3 times from different angle, like, did he clip him? Didn't he clip him? So it's needed. So it's whether the referees are able to obviously come to the right outcome. And a lot of times they come to some bullshit outcome that is why the controversy exists. Like, you need proper referees. I think that's what the problem
And
is.
just as a final point, quickly, very, very quickly,
Yeah.
with the VAR, like when we look at like the goal line technology, the fact that we've only had one issue with it because goal line technology
Sheffield United villain, and that's it.
yeah. But like at the end of the day, look, it was bound to happen. Technology was bound to fail sooner or later. The fact that it's only been once shows that it's a good system to have because the technology decides it. But then when you have the referees now interpreting, and interpretation is just the word, really and truly, interpretation. And that's where it's kind of going wrong, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. Listen, my phone's about to die as always. So I'll speed you up to the score predictions.
This guy never leaves it in charge.
No, it's on charge, man. It's been a long podcast, isn't it? But anyways, we'll finish off with the score predictions for the weekend. Obviously, it has been a season review thus far. It's kind of been a general chat, which is obviously different to what we normally do. But we start with the banker, really. I'm trying to think of which Chelsea player to buy in fantasy football. Chelsea v West Brom, Kojo, what do you reckon?
Chelsea West Brom. Oh, yeah, Chelsea 3-0.
3-0. Kale, what are you saying?
Yeah, if it ain't 5-0, they messed up.
Damn. Kish, what do you reckon?
2-0 Chelsea.
Right, Daddy, what are you saying?
Yeah, 3-0, man.
Fuck it, I'm going to say 6-0 Chelsea. I don't know who's playing tomorrow. Right, okay, Leicester against Manchester City. This is the one. It's interesting to see who. I'm assuming everyone's putting Leicester here, isn't it, realistically? Sorry, Man City. Yeah. Man City. Sorry, Man City. I meant Man City. I'm just not used to saying that shit. Kojo, what do you reckon? What's his score prediction? Leicester at home. I don't know if that makes a difference, to be honest.
You know what? I'll say City will take it 2-1.
Right. Kale, what are you saying?
I think City 3-1.
3-1. Kish?
1-0 Man City.
Ooh, interesting. Daniel?
Gonna go with 1-1, you know.
1-1.
I was considering that as well, but I wasn't sure.
Good result for Man United, still in the title race and all that. Oh, quality. Right, okay. I'm gonna say 3-1 Man City as well. Obviously, Iheanacho's gonna score. Actually, this is the big one. Arsenal v Liverpool and the Emirates.
That's this weekend as well.
Yeah.
Hey, get international break out of him, man.
Thank you. We don't want it here, bro.
Yeah. Arsenal v Kale. Come on, Arsenal. Come on, son. Oh God.
Yeah. We need an Arsenal win. We need an Arsenal win.
Arsenal might overtake Liverpool by in this game, but the one after. But obviously, Kish didn't really join in with that on cheering Arsenal. But Kojo, what do you reckon score prediction, bro?
1-1.
Okay. Kale, what do you reckon?
I think 2-2.
Yeah.
Kish?
2-2.
Same, man.
With Desmond. Dan, you got 2-2 as well?
Yeah, 2-2, literally.
Jeez. Look, Jota's definitely scoring. That guy's on smoke at the moment. I don't know what's happened to him.
That being said, the game is in at Anfield, so you know it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, if it was at Anfield,
I didn't even remember that.
I'm gonna.
Did Liverpool win at the Emirates last season?
No.
They didn't, and the season before that they didn't either.
No, I didn't. No, I'm gonna say 2-1 Arsenal. Fuck it.
Neither do Arsenal though.
I'm going 2-1 Arsenal. Someone's gone forward to Liverpool win. So 2-1 Leicester. Right, okay. Newcastle v Spurs. Kojo, what do you reckon, bro?
It's jokes. But you know, Newcastle have too many injuries, so Spurs have to win this one. 1-0 Tottenham.
Kale, what are you saying?
If Spurs don't win this, I don't know your team, bro. I should be 2. I think 2-0 Spurs.
Yeah.
Kish?
4-0 Spurs.
Yeah, fair.
Yes.
Fair.
Okay. Yes, Daniel, what are you saying?
Yeah, 3-0, man. Newcastle are dead. Like I want them to get right.
Yeah, I'm going 3-0 Spurs as well. I've got West Ham, but Lawless in here, so they're irrelevant. Might now be Brian. Kojo, what do you reckon at OT?
Interesting.
That's actually quite interesting as well.
Great record at home, haven't we?
I'll say 2-0 United.
Okay, Kale, what are you saying?
Did Brighton beat you last season at OT?
No, I don't
No.
think so.
No. I mean, this season they play better away than they do at home. So I go 2-1 Brighton.
I think you're mixing this up with Mopai against Arsenal. But all right, I couldn't help myself. Kids, what you reckon?
That guy Welbs 1-1 Brighton.
Oh,
That guy, well, I forgot about him.
Well, but,
That guy
That's
Welbs.
not a bad shot, you know. I'm not gonna lie, Daniel. What do you reckon?
No, I do think United will win. I think 2-1.
We have. I'm not making excuses, but Martial and Rashford are both out injured for this game.
Martial just played like yesterday,
Yeah,
no?
he got
injured in that game, yeah.
He got injured,
Well,
yeah.
no, man.
But Martial and Rashford both are injured, so I don't know who's going to play up front.
What, is Rashford not going to be back?
Did you
in
see
time?
his turn?
I think Rashford will play.
Oh, Kish, don't worry, I've seen it. I sent it everywhere, don't worry. My God, his sister getting Let's go! Very nice. Daniel, what are you saying? What's his competition?
No, I still think United will win, even if Martial 2-1.
I'm trying to work out who's going to play. It must be Dan James, Cavani, and Greenwood. I think that might.
Yeah,
He probably force Rashford back. I'm going to say 1-0 Man United. Bruno Fernandes, penalty, all that good stuff. Right, okay. Listen, we're going to wrap the show there. Just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who stayed with us. Obviously, thank you to our guests. As always, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Everyone's socials are down below in the description, so make sure you go and show them love. They got a lot of content. I think Daniel's uploaded a video yesterday, actually. Was it today, yesterday?
Yeah, this morning, yeah.
Yeah, so make sure you go check that out as well. Absolute banger. Obviously, stay tuned for more. We might have to do a draft, man. Everyone seems to be doing these drafts, so we might have to hop
it's
on
fun.
next
It's
week.
fun. Trust me, it's fun.
It seems like it'd be a laugh for Lawless Ben here, so we might do that next Monday. Obviously, a bit of a change from normal. But apart from that, it's been your boy, Usmaan. Check out 3 Midfield and Eyes on the Ball TV. Subscribe to the homies. Your boy, J-Lings. Signing out. Jace, if you watch this, you're a fraud. Anyways.
End on belly, I see.